3, 2.
Quiet on the set.
Dim lights, thick smoke, and loud music. It's the only kind of light you'll ever understand. Whoa, dim lights, thick smoke, and loud music. You'll never make it away to a home loving man. Hey, home and little children mean nothing to you. A house filled with love, or a husband that's true. You'd rather have it direct with the first guy you meet, and the only home you know, that club down the street. Dim lights, thick smoke, and loud music.
And it's Thursday.
It's Thursday. We're becoming more and more Hilljack than I.
Wait, no, that
Wasn't
that
that
is the
Hilljack?
first Hilljack song
I
I played
know.
in a long time.
Wasn't bad though. Wasn't bad. All right. What exactly was it?
Dwight Yoakam.
Dwight
Dim
Yoakam.
lights, thick smoke,
Okay.
and loud music.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it is Thursday, and it is 7:10. I'll tell you what, Matt, you're starting to scare me, brother.
Yeah, we're getting this thing down.
Like 7:10 yesterday, 7:10 tonight,
Right.
or I mean last week.
Discipline.
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 Very good. Very good. Well, yeah, it is Thursday. This is Uneducated. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Make sure you share our videos if you like them. And make sure you click the bell so that you get notifications for everything that's going on that we're doing. Also, you might want to catch these videos that Matt's been putting out. They're quite entertaining, to say the least.
Yeah, they're going to be
Yeah,
fun.
they're nice, and we'll keep them coming. All
Right.
So tonight we do have a special guest. Pastor Dan Cartwright is with us. So Dan, thanks for being here tonight.
Yeah.
You've been on the show before in the past, so maybe some people might recognize you. But if not, then they will start to recognize you. Because Dan might actually be coming on more often, gentlemen. Him and I were having
Well,
coffee
let's see
tonight.
how it goes.
Okay, all right,
Don't
all right.
throw anything
all right.
out early.
Yeah, all right, you're right. You're
She's
right.
still
We
with
can't
you.
pay him.
We'll
too
see.
much.
That's right. That's right. We got to figure out first. Yeah.
All the coffee you can drink. I heard.
Yeah. So I just, real quick, I figured we'd start it off with this. I know Dan has some thoughts, and I think you guys will be interested in going here. We do want to talk about Trump and his inauguration and some of the things that are going on, all the things that he's signing into law and all the things that are going on. So we do want to go that track. But real quick, to kick this off, I first want to just kind of run this vein, and we'll take the first 15, maybe 20 minutes, but probably about 15 minutes to deal with this. But Brandon and I were talking this past week about spiritual warfare in prayer. Remember this week we were talking about that and just struggling in prayer. And I kind of, there's a part of me that wonders if, I know prayer has always been something that's never been an easy task. I mean, it's got to be intentional. Even the disciples asked Jesus, can you teach us how to pray? So it's never been one of those things that's just simple. It just comes naturally. It's something that we have to work through and let the Spirit of God lead us and guide us. However, the world at large is becoming more and more spiritual, it appears, when it comes to alien phenomenon and demonic stuff. And so I wanted to read something to you. This is Galatians chapter 1, verse 8. Paul says, "But even if we or an angel from heaven should preach to you a gospel contrary to what we have preached to you, he is to be accursed." And so for me, this one verse tells me that not only is Paul a supernatural guy, he believes in the supernatural realm, he also believes that if a supernatural realm being comes and talks to you, and they're preaching some kind of different gospel, they need to be accursed. All right. So with that said,
You're saying Joseph Smith had a real opportunity?
He did have a real opportunity, yeah. And
What a
he
loser.
blew it.
Yeah, he did.
He blew it. So recently there's been all these whistleblowers about the alien stuff, and we have talked about that, and maybe another show we can talk more in depth about that. And so we have concluded that some of this stuff is probably technology that the governments have, some of this stuff is probably PSYOP, and some of it's probably demonic. And then I think it was a week or two ago, Matt, we were talking about the whole quantum chip and the idea that people are talking about these quantum beings.
Quantum beings, yes.
Okay, they're coming out. And then just recently on News Nation, this was last week, they did a special on a whistleblower who supposedly has been transporting, or has in the past in his military career, has transported certain downed craft that what they call NHI, non-human intelligence. And he made this comment during the interview, and I just want to throw this out here, and then maybe we can have a quick discussion, and then we can move into important stuff like Trump and the inauguration, all that stuff. But he made the comment when they were asking him his experience, and he said he was having this emotional experience as he was transporting this thing. And he made the comment that it was the most beautiful and loving spirit that he'd ever been possessed by, and that's how he described it.
And he said that it's with him to this day.
Yeah, and he said it's still with him, guiding
to this
him.
day.
Yeah, to this day. So my question is this:
Buck fever.
What's that?
It's buck fever.
Buck fever.
Serious.
Well, hey, it's possible. So I didn't know if you guys had any thoughts on that and where we're heading with this whole spiritual awakening and this whole alien phenomenon thing, because I think it's New Age spirituality repackaged, but we could talk about that. Any thoughts on it? Anybody?
Definitely New Age. Sorry, go ahead, Matt.
No. Go ahead.
I say it's definitely New Age. Nothing new under the sun.
Mm-hmm.
This is completely New Age. But, one of the podcasts that I listened to, well, there's two that came to mind, was one, The Haunted Cosmos, which you and I talked about. They talk a lot about this stuff. But then also the Joe Rogan Experience. I watched a lot of that this last year. And, yeah, there's a lot of people on that show that talk about these kind of events. And, because they're messing with drugs. They're, there actually is another podcast, too, called Cultish. They talk about a lot of this stuff. And they talk about, like, the false religions and how they're, they're demons. The other interesting thing, real quick, and then I'll stop talking, but interesting thing is God has created all false gods. You know what I mean? That's the thing. He created all of these pretenders. Mm-hmm. He created all of his what do you call them? His
spirit realm, right? His spirit.
He created them all.
Yeah,
and they're in rebellion against him. They've always got, just like in the Garden of Eden, they've always got a better way than God's way.
Mm-hmm.
Giving us options.
Yeah. Yeah, not good options, but they're options. Yeah. Like, did he really say that? That's what the snake says to Eve. Did he really say that?
Yeah.
Or you have, like, the Tower of Babel. Well, let's build a really tall tower, overthrow God. Even us. What do we want to do? We want to buck our own nature when we think we're like, okay, we know what we should do, but we're like, we're not going to do that. We're going to do everything else but that.
Right.
We're going to find another way.
Yeah.
Shortcut.
Yep. Definitely.
GLP-1s.
You're ruining people's guts.
I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
We want a shortcut.
Right.
That's going to destroy us.
Right.
Yeah.
Or steroids.
And Matt's brought this out a couple times that he thinks AI is like the concept of Antichrist, or at least one of the concepts of Antichrist.
It's going to be Antichrist.
Yeah. So again, it's the same thing. It's feeding into this idea that we can live eternally independent of God, or we can live better independent of God.
Yeah. We're our own gods.
Mm-hmm.
We're Tower of Babel.
Yeah.
At Davos, they had a plan to translate your memories and all that into an AI. They had just recently, now they got the AI, I just call them androids. They got androids that will be companions with the elderly when no one will sit there with them. So the AI will sit there and mother AI. So
I mean,
man, I'm getting one of those when April gets older.
What kind of weird world will be if you could take grandma and download her into a robot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she never really leaves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
in your mind.
Well, and
Yeah.
the problem they're having, and this is where they're going to need the demonic, is they can't get the spirit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They can get the voice of grandma. They can get memories like
Well,
database.
and I believe, well, here's the thing that watch out for. When our generation starts turning into grandparents and dying, it's going to be very close. Because they'll have so much metadata built up over our life now.
Yeah.
From what we bought at Home Depot, when we bought it,
Yeah.
to who we married, what we posted on Facebook,
Yep.
how many kids we had.
Yep.
So they'll be able to do a lot more things. Like just like they're able to predict what you're going to want to be interested in to buy next. So I think that's only going to get better and more convoluted.
Yeah.
You know what? This is a positive in my mind, but remember Star Trek, that room that you could create?
Oh, the holodeck.
Yeah, the virtual reality.
Yeah.
Like that would be kind of cool to
It would
say,
be
you know,
very cool.
I want to see my wife. What, you know what I mean? You just get all these memories, and I want to see this day, and that would be a positive,
Right.
But obviously, there's
But none of it was ever real, though, right?
no, it
was
never
all
was
hologram.
real. It
Yeah.
was all
all
yeah,
hologram.
it was all hologram. Yeah,
But,
virtual
but
reality.
you, like, yes, we use everything for bad.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter what. I don't care if it's a car. We're not running people over with them. Like we cannot be trusted.
No.
With utopia.
No, it's the
oh
knowledge.
no, we can't be God, and that's the whole problem
I
because
know,
we
but
want to
we
be
think
God.
we can be.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
There is a balding man who looks like Dr. Evil out there in Germany who thinks that he can.
Klaus?
Yeah. He said, we can do this.
Yes.
I know
goes
many
back to
bad
knowledge.
movie, but
Even listening to his voice is like makes me think of like Chaos. I remember what is that, Agent 99 and
yeah. Oh,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
all
yeah,
they're
yeah.
all
All
the
that,
same. I still can't figure out why people cannot see we tried to help them concentrate.
So it goes back to knowledge, right? Knowledge of good and evil.
Yeah.
I mean, God said, "Hey, you don't need. I'm all you need. You know, I'll give you wisdom when you need it. I'll show you the way.
We blew it.
This knowledge is too much for you to handle. It's a lot. All right. So for those who are listening, just watch the alien stuff, watch the AI stuff, but just be discerning about the whole thing, man. You got to pay attention to this stuff. I know sometimes my wife gets on my case because she's like, "Man, you're into the you're always watching this stuff." The only reason I'm watching it is because I want to make sure that I have at least digested enough of it to be able to help people see the deception of it. That's all.
And it's really interesting.
And it is kind of interesting and fun. And it kind of gets me excited sometimes because I'm like, oh, wow, this is kind of like Marvel's, stuff, all the movies I'm watching.
maybe they'll build Atlantis again.
They might. You never know.
That would be.
You never know.
They give us the technology to do that.
Yeah, right. Matt, we got any comments and stuff yet?
No comments.
No comments.
A couple viewers on each.
Okay. All right, cool.
I got one more creation thought,
Yeah.
something that I've been pondering the last week. So one of the things that happened for Adam and Eve when they ate the fruit was their eyes no longer were fixed on God. Mm-hmm. They were fixed on themselves.
Yeah.
That's how they knew they were naked.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, yeah, and then we've been fixed on ourselves since then.
Yep. Yeah.
How do we save ourselves?
Right. And I've always thought, and I know this isn't, inferring on the text, but I've always thought to myself, like, before the sin, I think to myself, Adam was like not only longing to know God and to serve him, but in response to that, he was doing good to creation because he had dominion, and he was longing to serve and do good to his wife. And Eve, I think, was in the same position. She was longing to serve with him as a partner and longing to serve him. And then as soon as, like you said, as soon as their eyes got opened and they were on themselves, it was like, Adam, when are these cupboards going to be built, And Adam's like, man, just leave me alone. I just need a beer and I need to sit down for a few minutes. Just,
Not only that, one of the first emotions was created, and that was fear.
Yeah.
Because she said I was afraid, or they said they were afraid, right?
Yeah, when God shows up. Yeah.
Something else that's interesting too is Yeah, I never thought about the fear, but because they hide themselves. But yeah, Eve, God is questioned in her mind, and she listens to the devil. This guy who just, it's like almost like he was walking by, and you want to listen to somebody walking by you don't have a relationship with, and you're like, boom, he can question God.
But that person was of brilliance.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, not God. God's not. Right.
Well, God was too, but you're going to question.
Yeah.
A cherub?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there was, and that, but the thing is it's like, why was that pre-fall? There was already an innate he's not doing what's right. You know what I mean? He's withholding something good. And then not only that, but then Adam too. Why are you not protecting her? You were given dominion and you're already not doing your job in that aspect.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a sword.
It's just because men are lazy.
It is probably. He was there though, because for a while there, the people used to say, "Oh, he's off." No, he was there.
Listen,
He was there. He just was like, "We'll get it tomorrow."
Listen, Paul tells us one of the things that guys are supposed to do as they draw near to Christ and make him head is they sanctify their wife. That's part of it. So that's what we're supposed to be doing.
They don't like that though. Not in the 2020.
You make them.
You make them.
You make your
They
wife.
like
Yeah.
that even
You
less.
set your wives apart, man. You just
You
No,
put
they-
that head covering on her.
Right. No, you aren't going to wear this.
Oh man. All right.
Really
So
pushing for that, but
yeah. So obvious. Yeah. So this is what's really. We've been doing. I'm good. We've been doing a series. We started a series on spiritual warfare. So we're in the third week coming this week. And we've been talking about the supernatural realm. And so tonight we just briefly brushed the surface of the supernatural realm. And I think what a lot of people don't realize is that what we're dealing with, whether it's AI, whether it's alien stuff, this is supernatural. This is supernatural, other realm stuff, unseen realm stuff. And I think we need the gospel, the true gospel, not the gospel that these angels may be coming to. We need the true gospel preached now more than ever to help people understand this. So, I just wanted to put a little teaser out there. So now let's move on.
When you were talking about your thing this week, the Watchers,
yeah,
and they had those bird heads.
yeah, it's good stuff.
What woman was like, yeah, let's do this. You got a bird head. It's nice. I like that.
Yeah.
You don't look like anything else that I'm supposed to be familiar with. Yeah, let's try this.
I agree. Yeah. Or the head of a lion and and 6 wings and let's deal. Let's do business.
Yeah,
Yeah.
This is going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
This is definitely. How you doing, son?
Can I have a question?
Sure. What is it?
They won't let me have a show with the drums.
I'm sorry. Could you use English next time?
They won't let me have a show with the drums.
Xylee won't? Well, I guess wrestler to the ground.
Oh, that'd be nice. All right. Well, so this is a good time to transition.
Parenting.
Yeah, parenting.
I'm
so
good at it.
some things have happened in the last 3 days. Donald Trump became the 47th president. He was inaugurated as a 47th president. And so since that time, he has put a lot of things into action, into law. He signed things into law. So we thought maybe we would just start by throwing some things out there. First thing I'll throw out is the conspiracy, well, maybe not conspiracy, but the idea that I called this, before CBS found it, I just want to say this, that I called it, April will confirm this. We're watching the inauguration. I look over at April and I go, he did not put his hand on the Bible. His wife got up late. She
No, he
kind of
did
came to the
not.
front, and he did not.
Oh, Steve
'Cause it
Bannon
was
made a big deal about it.
Yeah. So what say you? What's about that? Now, personally, to me, I'm not a big swearing on the Bible kind of guy. I don't think you really should be swearing on anything or all that kind of
didn't
stuff.
wanna
But
take no oath on the
if
Bible.
you got to do it, you got to do it. That's fine. I'm not saying you're going to go to hell or anything. But I'm not. It wasn't a big deal to me. However, what do you guys think? What do you say? Was that a purposeful thing? I'm not going to put my hand on the Bible, or was it just a glitch? They just got going too fast and they missed it.
It was Roberts. Roberts screwed it up with Obama. They had to redo Obama's.
But they redid it.
Yeah. But I don't think, because he actually got words wrong.
Obama did, or Roberts?
No, Roberts. And it screwed up Obama's thing.
Okay.
Like this time he got words right. He just didn't tell him to put his hand on the Bible.
Okay.
He said, "Raise your hand, repeat after me." He didn't say, "Put your hand on the Bible."
Yeah, right. He
yeah,
did.
he did it. That's what I would. Yeah, I
That's
noticed.
that's what's really strange too. He didn't tell.
Where
give him the-
Kavanaugh said it to Vance.
I think
He
it's
said, "Put
fine
your-"
that he didn't do it, or if he did do it, it's fine too.
Yeah.
He's not a Christian anyway.
Yeah,
So
right.
What's it matter?
Right. No, I hear you. I hear you.
Who's not?
He did it.
Roberts or Trump?
Trump. He did.
Trump's not a Christian.
I don't think so.
He is?
He might be. Listen, he did raise his right hand at least and say, "I promise."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean,
did-
if a man's not as good as his word, what else are you gonna do,
I
right?
did like the black pastor though.
Who did? Trump?
No, I like the
Prayer.
You
Oh,
did?
you did?
Yeah.
You liked him?
He reinvoked the great communist Martin Luther King.
I think he was decent.
You liked him because he was spunky or what?
He
he
brought
spoke
he,
well.
he brought back 3/4 of his speech.
He did. I know. That's what I told my brother.
I'm like, that is right there. That is weird.
Yeah, I think he spoke well.
Well, he spoke amazing.
Well, it was Martin Luther King's day.
Okay, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
You're getting all razzmatazz about the black pastor
didn't say
re-sang Martin Luther King's speech, but you can't get into worship music?
Yeah.
What is going on around here?
Oh, this is going back.
I think it's just our worship music. How's that?
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Where's Justin?
He's
Justin?
on here.
Is he?
yeah.
Justin, I think that's fighting words right there.
When we were talking about the woman and the covering, he said, "Take that, woman."
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We need more men who are willing to bring that into anyway. Yeah.
Anyway,
All right. All right. So we're not really concerned about the hand on the Bible. Everybody's good with that?
I mean, I'm fine with it.
Okay. All right.
Because
So
he's a Christian, right?
You mean Trump?
Yeah.
I don't know if he is or isn't.
Okay.
He kind of sounds like one. He sounds more like one.
you mean like the average Christian?
He sounds, listen, he sounds more Christian than the average Christian
Oh, really?
to me.
Really?
Yeah. He's not asking for coffee at Sunday service.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he does like to listen to woke sermons by a female Episcopalian preacher.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
2025.
Did you watch that? The prayer
No,
vigil
I didn't.
thing?
Yeah, the prayer vigil.
Well,
or
whatever you call it. The
The
prayer.
benediction?
No. The actual prayer service the following day.
No.
Okay, so let's throw this out there. They go to the what's the name of that church, Dan?
Oh, I believe it's Christ Church. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So they go there for the ecumenical prayer service that I think all pastors do after inauguration. It's on the next day or whatever. And he's sitting there, and they're going through all these different things. And you can tell that him and Vance and the family, they're all kind of like, a part of me is like looking at their facial expressions. They're like, come on, get along with this. So then the Episcopalian female pastor gets up, and literally she spends the next 20 minutes, and Trump's facial expressions are like, oh, when I'm done with this, man, so anyway, for the next 20 minutes, she talks about how they should be showing mercy to immigrants and showing mercy to the gay and lesbian population and literally preaching against everything that Trump has stood for when it comes to conservative
Oh,
views.
somebody was saying this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't see it.
Yeah. So,
And he was sitting there.
well, he was sitting there, and he's just making these looks on his face are just like, this is ridiculous. He's like, I'm done. He's
His
like,
son Eric had the funniest look. Like,
and then they're going back and forth. Like he would say something to his wife, and you could see she's holding back a smile, and then he'd look through the pamphlet like he's trying to pay attention, and he's not, and he's just like, oh, man, we got to get through this. Hurry up.
Did you hear he signed an order that all the woke DEI training stuff in the U.S. government was to stop by 5 o'clock yesterday?
Yeah.
And if you know of stuff proceeding but under a different name as a way to hide it,
Yeah.
you were to report it
Right.
so that could be terminated.
Yeah.
they were all put on leave. They were all put on paid leave for now. I actually, when I was deployed, I was attacked by kind of I had some DEI stuff that attacked me and tried to destroy my career. And
As in, you had to identify it as a they or a them?
no, I did not. I actually had a soldier that expected me to, and I told him I would not.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm like, my worldview doesn't allow for that.
Right. Right.
And now my president doesn't allow for that.
Right.
So there are two genders. And in
No,
fact,
that's pretty great.
at the WEF, today he made it even more clear. He said not only are there two genders, but transgender, we're not going to mutilate children, and transgender operations are going to be rare and few and far between. And I think that's going back, and I hope he didn't elaborate, but I think it's going back to, sometimes kids are born with both, and you got to decide which is going which way, and we've done that, and whatever was stronger, estrogen or testosterone, that's what they picked, and versus, for what is
You know what sucks with all that? So if I'm a female and I want to become a man, I can go get on hormones for nothing.
Yeah, free.
Yeah. But if I'm a man and I want to be on a little bit of extra testosterone, I got to pay for it.
Yeah.
That's crap.
You want to be more of a man, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stop eating soy.
I don't.
Hey, listen, I
I
just
know someone who does.
I just
do
had,
know someone in this room who
listen,
does.
I just had it tonight, and my testosterone levels are fine.
Sure.
And I just had it.
They look like they're like 100.
We need some protein. That's what we need.
So just real quick for people that don't maybe know, diversity, equity, inclusion is DEI, and that's something that's been go ahead.
And it's dead on arrival.
And it's dead on arrival. Right. So I don't know, Dan, if you can speak even a little more to that, being in the military, as a chaplain in the military. Maybe we could just throw that out, because what Trump is doing, some people would see as taking people's rights away, but really we're just giving rights back to people who are doing things based on merit now.
Everything's based on merit, which is a beautiful thing. That's the way it was. I love that about Trump. That's the way he would pick his, even in his businesses, his personal business, it's based on merit. That's how you succeed. Merit. Right. It doesn't matter if male or female. Doesn't matter the color of their skin. If they're the most, if they're the best for the job, that's what America needs. Mm-hmm. That's what we need. We don't need. Well, let's take, for instance, the LA fire chief. Let's talk about her. Okay, so she tells people, if you're a man, too bad for you, I can't carry you. No, you shouldn't have that job. If you can't carry a man, you don't get the job.
Right.
So she, and I mean, not to say all the water they suppress to save some fish that's dying anyway, whatever. But, that's what essentially it is. It's, so
if you're giving a speech and you go, more information can be found at URL. Anyway, and if you don't censor yourself immediately for saying that, you shouldn't have that job.
There's a problem.
You shouldn't have that job.
Not only that, they're supposedly supposed to raid Diddy's house, and then there's a wildfire.
Oh, did his house get burned down?
I think so.
Well, it's like the Epstein. I mean,
and then all these people that were involved, their house got burned down.
Are you serious? I didn't even hear about this part.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we could look it up.
Is baby oil flammable?
Oh my goodness.
I don't know. I would think.
Huh.
Interesting.
So, good news for Diddy is he had all of the videos. You know what I mean? So he has all the videos that he can release on Oprah and all of them, and and I just actually
does that
you're
keep
right.
him?
I want to see that stuff come out.
50 Cent came out with a Netflix thing. It's called Diddy Do It.
Oh.
I know Cat Williams has too been hitting on this for years.
Yeah.
He was bringing it up, and nobody listened to it.
Which
Well,
is crazy.
can we go back to, because, and again, I don't want to push too far on this, because I don't know what maybe I'm making a bad comparison, but when we talk about the gospel, and even like in Galatians, a little further into Galatians, Paul talks about the fact that being one new man in Christ, a new creature, that we got comments coming in.
Justin said baby oil is very flammable. Just watch Van Wilder, or wait, don't.
Yeah, don't. Right. But when Paul says this in Galatians, he talks about there is no longer Jew or Gentile. There's no longer male or female, barbarian, Scythian, slave, free, but all are one in Christ Jesus. And I think a lot of times the people who want to misuse that concept, they try to take that and put that into the diversity and equity thing, and that, hey, we should all have, the same stuff. We should all be a part of this. But even in the gospel message, people still have to make a free will choice to be a part of that. And then once you're a part of the kingdom, you still have roles and you still have responsibilities. You don't just sit around and lazy hang out and get the gospel and or get the rewards of eternal life just because hey, I'm in.
Just because you're not growing.
Right, exactly, right. There is a part of even within the kingdom. There's a part of being blessed because you're continuing to draw near and things are developing in your life. And if not, then sometimes things don't develop. So even the gospel, I think, in its purity, that there is still there's just not a free. I mean, there is a free ride as far as salvation, but it's not just a free ride. Like you just come in and you don't have to do anything. You don't have to work. There's no merit to that. Yeah. I mean, I understand salvation itself. There's no merit. Christ is all in all. There's it's not like Christ plus something else. But being in the kingdom, you still, as a kingdom person, you have a responsibility to take on your roles and your responsibilities. You can't just sit and freeload.
Well, yeah. So talking about this, so I think it is not merit based when it comes to salvation.
Correct. Right.
So I totally agree. But Peter was not set up to write 23. Now I'm just 19, however many that the Apostle Paul wrote books of the New Testament. Mm-hmm. Peter was not set up. He didn't have the knowledge. He didn't have any of that stuff. The merit was the Apostle Paul,
right,
who had been in the Sanhedrin, who had been raised as a Pharisee, who had sat under the law since a boy.
Yeah.
Peter didn't have that. He was a fisherman.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, very good point. Yeah. Because some of those guys were just uneducated.
Right.
That's what it says.
Kind of like me.
Acts 4:12. Yeah, Matt, you would not be writing anything.
No.
Yeah.
I don't write goodly.
You don't at all. No, actually, you're a pretty good writer. You have some really good. You articulate some really good thoughts. I really do think. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what DEI. To get back to it in the government, that's what it is. It's basically you pick. Okay, so let's just Clarence Thomas, the new. I don't even remember what her name is. The new female justice. He looks at her at one point, and this is, and I watched part of this video, and he's like, "I'm here because
Amy Coney Barrett."
No, the black one.
Oh,
yeah, not the white one.
I'll come up with
Amy Coney, whatever.
She let us down.
Well, but I want to talk about. She did, but I want to talk about when she had that interview. She had nothing in front of her. She knew the Constitution that well. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I think so. But anyway, Clarence Thomas looks at her and he says, "I'm here because I'm smart. You're here because you're black."
That's awesome.
And a female.
That's really what he said to her?
And listen, that's all 100% true.
Yeah, I'm here because I know the law.
Because at her trial, at her justification or whatever they call it.
Oh, yeah. Confirmation.
Yeah. She wouldn't even say what a woman was.
No, she didn't even know.
I remember that.
If you don't know what a woman is, well, now Trump has defined what a woman is.
Yeah.
And that males will not, no matter what they did to themselves,
right.
mutilation, they will not compete in a female.
Yeah, right.
And we're going to have the Olympics here, so that'll be even greater.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Just so you know, though, that passed, congressionally, right? That passed before Trump was president, so Biden gets the credit for that one.
Oh, does he? Yeah, right.
I just want to throw that out.
Yeah,
right?
Maybe. I mean, it was in his, maybe in his letter.
I just want to help Biden get something good on his scorecard.
Oh,
there.
I see.
That was passed under his administration, technically.
Yeah, finally the elder abuse has ended for Biden.
Yeah.
He can die.
Yeah.
Or the robot that's him can die.
It couldn't have happened to a better Klan member. Is all I can say.
Oh,
it is true.
Yeah.
I mean, you should send a Klan member outright.
That's right. I mean, he went just short of being on fire.
Yeah.
Him and Corn Pal.
Yeah.
Corn Pal, bad dude.
Yeah.
Well,
Bob.
I don't know that people have talked about this much, but I think we kind of brush the surface of this, but you cannot abuse or misuse the gospel and the inclusion of all people in the gospel and try to then create some kind of policy on diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's not the same thing. It's just not.
And the government is not God. And that's
Right.
the other thing. But it's interesting. The government is not God, but our taxes are more than 10%. I mean, that's crazy. You know,
Yeah.
in the Bible, God says give 10%.
Right.
And we don't want to do that. But, you know, look at the taxes we get taxed.
Yeah.
And it's like that's because the government says they're God.
As long as you bring your business over here and start a company here, you get less taxes now.
Yeah, this actually, 15% is what it's going to go down to, is 15%, which is, yeah,
I think that's what I pay now is about 15.
I don't know. Yeah.
15?
I think so.
No way.
Usually when I am estimating like my amount of tax to pull out, I usually estimate around 15%.
It's because you're poor.
It might be.
Yeah,
it might be. If
Well,
I would make over $250,000 a year, I'd be better.
Yeah, you'd pay 30% taxes, but you'd be well right now. But they're revamping it all.
Yeah. Be better off.
But yeah, I would say I think somebody
You're
estimated.
You're still going to have to buy Jesse's used jet.
Are you serious?
Yeah, you're not going to get a new one.
Gulfstream.
I'll tell you what. He better make sure he prayed all that stuff out of that jet before he sends it my way. Because that's a nice jet. $10 million.
He's have to do plans.
What are they changing with the $250 a year? What's that?
Oh, well, I don't know. I haven't actually looked. They're just starting now with the tax cuts. So the the House is meeting this week about tax cuts. The main problem we're seeing, I don't know how far, but the Democrats, like always, they're blocking all these appointments, trying to slow down Trump. And if they would just do what they're actually put there for, we could get a lot done. You know what I mean? So, I mean, he's done more already in 4 days than Biden did in 4 years.
And usually
For
the cutoff line for tax brackets are like 250,000. If you make below 250,000, you're in one tax bracket. If you make above, you're in another.
Gotcha.
Well, my argument is it should be 9%, 8%, 7%. According to the Constitution, we shouldn't be taxed at all.
Right. We shouldn't be taxed at all.
By the states. The states are the only ones that raise
Right.
tax, and then they feed the government. Yeah,
Sure.
that's the way it works constitutionally.
Gosh darn it if it doesn't flow uphill fast enough,
Yeah.
though.
Well, hopefully once they get all that cartel money, they can pay off the debt,
Right?
and then we won't have to pay taxes.
Oh, he's got lots of ideas for this debt. I mean, it's pretty.
yeah.
terrible.
We're gonna-
Want to throw out some of those ideas?
Listen, we're going to pay in these narco dollars. Don't sniff them all in one place.
Yeah, right. So real quick, I do want to throw this out though. Like, I think it's a great idea to snuff out drugs and the drug cartel, but I got a question. Is it the guy over in Venezuela that like really took the military and just started arresting drug cartel and built that big prison? Was that Venezuela? Where was that at?
Yeah, I was
Somewhere in South America.
I thought it was El Salvador. El Salvador did similar. There's a couple of them.
Oh, it might have been, yeah.
Yeah.
So he took it. So here's the idea. So we call out military or whatever we do, and now we're going to go after the drug cartels. We're literally waging war on one of the largest organized crime syndicates around. So how do we do that? Because
Didn't we essentially do that in the Middle East, though, too?
yeah,
And we weren't allowed to win.
and maybe this is conspiracy
Didn't
theory,
we do
but
that with the mob?
right?
Well, we beat them.
Did we?
There's not too many pizza-eating Italians running around taking
Oh,
people's money.
I don't know, man. There's
mean,
still, I seen them the other day.
No, that's still, like, small. And, like, they would have you believe that Sylvester Stallone is starting a syndicate in Tulsa or stuff like that. But it's not like it used to be.
Well, the government doesn't want. The government wants to be the most
mob.
corrupt. They want to be
Yeah,
the mob.
yeah.
They want to be the cartel.
I was going to
They
say because
wanna-
eventually they're going to, because this is conspiracy, obviously, but back in Clinton's days, weren't we pretty much guarding the poppy seed fields, and weren't we bringing stuff in on planes
from Afghanistan,
Right,
and
right,
from
right.
Yeah, it seems to be.
So at this point, if we're getting rid of the drug cartel, that tells us that we're going to run the syndicate, right? Somehow.
I don't know. I mean, really, when I was sitting on the border this past year, that makes the most sense. talk to Border Patrol agents. Really, what makes the most sense is for America to go into Mexico and wipe out the cartel. And then to let either take Mexico over or allow them to have a... Because every time somebody that wanted to run on change, the cartel would kill them. Or their family members.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
they wouldn't run. So, and that was on both sides of the border, like we were talking about.
And
earlier.
Trump said, he's like, these are bad people.
They are.
Bad people.
I was watching an individual, and he was saying it'd take a small group of good guys.
Oh, yeah. Just special forces. Send them in.
Done.
Really?
Although,
Small
listen,
group.
I
You think?
hesitate to, like, we've trained MS-13 pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of those guys are ex-military from the U.S.,
Yeah.
so they know tactics.
You're talking about sending them in.
No, if those are the people, the
one-
cartels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
We could have a fight on our hands.
I used to kind of, I would ask my dad as a prepper. And
Yeah.
like, listen, all right, Dad, so you're out there, you're hiding. What are you going to do with a guy who's hanging over your head, the knife? MS-13. I'm like,
yeah.
there's some pretty highly trained thugs out there that we're going to have to deal with.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with the prepper.
No, there's not.
Yeah.
There's not. But
yeah.
as I turn not younger
Yeah.
and not slimmer, I realize, like, let's face some reality.
Yeah.
There's some pretty highly trained people that don't like us out there.
You got to have 3 machine gun nests up in your attic
Right.
facing. Well, 4 is best, but for all footage, right?
Or you Red Dawn it with the grenade in your
Yeah,
jacket.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's over. Yeah.
It's done. And so's everybody who was with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Come on in, boys. Come on, bring it in. Bring it in.
Why do they remake every movie? I mean, come on.
I don't know.
Anyway.
It's never as good as the first one
No.
usually, but
No.
yeah. Even like Gladiator 2 just came out. That's terrible.
Stupid.
It's terrible.
Justin Mackey says, what about President Milei? Is Milei Mexico?
It,
Like, what are we going to do with him?
That's a female. Is that the new female president?
El Presidente.
Yeah.
I asked what country, but he didn't answer.
Yeah.
he's probably.
No, he's right there.
Oh, he's right there.
I guarantee it.
Okay.
Type faster.
I don't know, but I'm just. I think this is ambitious, and I think it's good that the government's saying, yeah, we need to crack down on this stuff. I guess in my head, I'm just thinking to myself, like, what does that mean? Like, what does that look like? Because you're getting into a war that's huge. It appears.
Well, this is
But
my
you're-
point. This is my point.
Okay.
Like, I know a lot of people think this is going to be like, we're done.
Yeah.
But I don't. I think we're. There's going to be challenges associated with this. We have been working with them with the wrong side of our. What do you want to call it? The Biden administration has been working with them. The Clintons were working with them.
Mm-hmm.
The CIA's been working with Colombia, Nicaragua.
Sure.
Yeah, the CIA is an enemy. It is
Yeah,
an
right.
enemy.
So but they're training. They're.
Oh, yeah.
They've
Yeah.
they've shown these people these things. This is.
Yeah.
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 What they're our saving grace is they're gonna be lacking in an organization. They're not gonna have organization.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because they're actually fighting each other. The
Yeah,
best way to
right,
do
exactly.
be would get them to fight each other.
Right.
That would be, and I'll tell you that
And that won't be hard.
No, they do that all the time anyway. And they're every state in Mexico, there's like 54, 57, whatever of them. They all have their own cartels. And some of the states have multiple cartels. That's their turf. So if we can figure out how to get them to fight each other, and then we go in like Jack Black Pershing and just clean up the mess,
Yeah.
like when he was hunting Pancho Villa. So, yeah.
So Argentina, that's right. The super libertarian
yeah.
guy.
Okay.
He's a lot of fun. I'm not sure what the.
We had a lot of we had a lot of Venezuelans coming over the border. A lot of them, Venezuelan, Argentina. Yeah, I'm concerned about. I don't know if I want to say this.
You want to text it to us?
Yeah,
And then we'll say it.
too pro-Israel, too much pro-Israel. That I'm always concerned about any of that. like the rabbi who prayed. I like the last two, but I didn't like the rabbi because
No, I didn't like the rabbi
pro-Israel.
either.
I'm like, this is America. You were actually invited to the American inauguration, which actually, by the way, has the most Jews in the world, right, in America,
Right.
in New York City, and you're praying for Israel above America. You can throw Israel in there at the end. Okay, fine. But you're trying to push and
I didn't like his prayer either.
no, and you notice Trump had already kind of and the prime minister of Israel didn't come because he had already slighted him and said, you know what, we're not going to die in your wars, because that's what's been happening.
Right.
Israel's like, well, now we're going to go to war here.
Right.
Come on and go to war with it. No, we're not going to go to war with you.
Right.
And the problem is we got too many Zionists. Anyway, I shouldn't have said that. It ran down
No,
the
it's
throat.
true. It's
so
true.
you got these people that, it's like, we have to side with Israel no matter what they do.
Right.
They kill women and children. Oh, we have to.
Right.
We have to be okay with that. Yeah. I'm not okay with either Hamas or Israel, what they're doing. And
Right.
I want it ended, but
Right. And then I don't have an allegiance to their country.
no, I'm an American.
Right.
Yeah.
I have Irish background. Just
Well, yeah, my ancestors, they came with the Puritans. Well, I'm in New Jerusalem, right?
yeah.
So
the Vikings.
not the Vikings.
No,
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 1600s.
Sorry, that's different.
Yeah, that's
different.
Vinland. It was it was Vinland, Wineland. I don't know. They call it.
I don't know.
1,000 they came.
I don't know. Leiden.
But if you're Irish, you're with the dirty potato haulers.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. Although I do like some good mashed potatoes.
You
with
listen.
some gravy.
Your hill people brought us some of the worst cults we got.
That is true. That is true. I'm with you. I'm on it. I'm on
Danny Green special.
it. Yeah. Yeah, right there in Cleveland.
You don't celebrate the summer solstice?
Haven't.
Whoops.
No, I do celebrate St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, that's
but,
a good one.
But I think for totally different reasons.
Yeah.
We just like Reubens. That's what we do.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
I like a good corned beef.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, my mom's Irish, so I guess I'm Irish too. O'Connor.
Yeah. So, not to belabor this or work towards this, but you mentioned Israel and the Zionist movement and everything that's going on. So the idea is, even coming from a biblical standpoint, America, so God puts governments, this is something Franklin Graham prayed in his prayer at the inauguration. God raises up kings and tears them down, right? So God has put Trump or our government in a place where it appears that we're trying to right some wrongs morally. Now, whether or not Trump is Christian or not, we're trying to right some wrongs morally, and God puts governments in place to do that, it appears. The question now is, America, it's still, though, not necessarily America's place at this point in time to try and get involved and right all the wrongs in other countries. We don't need to be there. That's not our. We're here for our country to try and do that, right?
I feel like
Any
that's
thoughts?
what we do here with the church when we donate all our money to all these other churches. When
Oh,
we don't
wow.
have any money.
You're going to the mission stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. All
It's
right.
almost like the same thing.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I just want to say
You found that. Yeah. You put
I
that
totally
together.
agree.
Okay.
I don't like these generic world, like, for crying out loud, they're called World Mission, World Harvest,
World Vision.
World Vision. Yeah.
And that's great stuff. It's the same
Is
thing.
it? Is it great stuff?
If it is great stuff.
The theory.
We had a lady come in here and tell us they would make them into slaves and they would make purses, and we were like, we could do that. So then we started having to make purses.
How many purses
Isn't that
can we
better?
Or
No,
Nikes or whatever. Yeah.
right?
It is. It's what's going on.
It is. And then everybody's going, Brian, why did we do that? I don't know. I thought it was a good thing at first. And then I found out that, they're taking these people out of slavery, and now they're making bags for $2, and they're selling the bags for $20 to support their mission thing.
I thought you said they were
Pure
making purses
profit.
out of them.
Yeah.
So back to the America thing. I think first off, Monroe Doctrine. That's what we need to have. We need to go back to isolationism. We need to control our own country, our own border. So when Trump shut down the border, boom. That's the only reason we have a federal government, is to protect us. Mm-hmm. There's no other reason constitutionally for a federal government, or we'll do it on our own. We don't need, like Ronald Reagan said, I'm from the government. That's the scariest words in the world
Right.
you could ever hear. I'm from the government, and I'm here to
to
help.
help.
I'm not here to help. I've been on hurricane missions. I've been on the border mission. No, we don't help. We just cause more problems. Bureaucracy. We'll figure out some people to hand water out, and then we'll take pictures, and it'll be a win.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, or it's also like the mask in an airplane. I hate airplanes, but anyway, so you got to secure the purse or your own mask, then you secure theirs. So if we're going to help someone, we got to secure ourselves. A lot of times we've been throwing money at places, and a lot of times the cartel are the ones or the corrupt government that gets the money. The people that need the money don't get it. Whatever it is, and then we go over there to try to fix the situation, at least on the surface. Really, it seems like there's other motivations, especially in Iraq. There's other motivations, right? The reason we go over there. But,
It goes all the way back. Did you ever see Charlie Wilson's War?
yeah.
Like, that is a perfect explanation of how
Yeah.
this ball of wax got rolling.
Yeah. Isn't it interesting how we do evil, demonic things, and then we show them on movies?
Yeah.
This is what we did.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or this is what we want to do.
I fear that people are too dumb to put it together of what was going on there in that picture.
Well, and the other, and so, I don't know. But the other thing is too.
All right, so when I go, have you seen Charlie Wilson's War? People are like, no. And then they'll be like, oh, yeah, I saw it. It was really boring.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, it explains the past 35 years.
What we've been doing.
What we've been doing.
Yeah.
And when they're like, come on, we've got to help these people, we're like, yeah, no, we're over here now. And no, we never went to help. We was never to be a helper.
Well, it's like Vietnam. Same thing. Well, here's my problem. How do you take my sons to fight your war in a place where no one had ever heard of it's by Korea. So, okay, we went to Korea too. How do you do you don't do that if you're a Christian nation. You don't, and because that's what God warns against a king. He's like, if you get a king, they're going to take your sons
Yeah.
and they're going to die for that king.
Right.
And so I think, even though it's constitutional to have a draft, the founding fathers, they didn't have, in the revolution, we didn't have a draft. I don't think a draft should be constitutional because you're a free people. I'm a king, right, in my land, and I shouldn't pay taxes either on my land,
right,
because I'm a king. I'm a free citizen, right?
No, that's a whole other subject on another day.
I know. I just
Oh my gosh.
just put it in there for a minute. In fact, actually, my wife's family lost their farm, one of their farms, because of taxes. They had the land before Ohio was a state,
Yeah.
before there were taxes.
Right.
How do you take land from a family that had handed down generation upon generation because the taxes weren't paid?
Because
That's illegal.
Because we got the pry bar in the door that made the tax happen in the first place.
But that land, you know what I mean? It's like,
Oh, totally.
yeah. So anyway, yeah. Anyway, yeah, but
and what you're saying is, when it comes down to a sovereign nation,
yeah,
we
with sovereign individuals,
right? We would have, other than like Pearl Harbor, maybe 9/11. Our men, we're not losing, like you said, we're not losing our sons because they're not going over and fighting in wars. They're protecting our country, which at this point we really haven't needed protection other than a couple other places.
If you
because
look at
we're
World War
secure.
I and World War II,
we could be secure.
World War I and World War II, we were reluctant to get into both of them.
Right.
And then it was only after Congress declared that we could go to war that we went to war.
Well, first an event happened, which there is
No,
some
listen, I got it.
Right.
conspiracies around those events.
But then after that, that's when the dam broke, and it was just like,
Yeah.
we just send them. We just send
Yeah,
them.
no war declared.
Yeah.
No war,
No,
just go.
you can't listen, dude. You can't win. Stop.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Yeah.
That's my uncle was in Vietnam. That was the most irritating thing he said is they would take a hill, then they'd give it back, or they wouldn't secure it. They'd go back around, and they would have lost a dozen guys or whatever, 20 guys.
Because we
getting
never
that hill.
declared a war.
I know.
Yeah.
And then so they go over here, and then they come back, and they got to
Yeah.
retake
Yeah.
the same hill.
That's so.
And they're using the same
Yeah.
holes that they were using. They got the whole network. Anyway,
That's exactly what my dad said. My dad said when they were in Korea, he was a tank commander in the tank. He said they had pushed the Koreans past the 38th parallel, and he said MacArthur was calling Truman and saying, "Listen, we can take this." Truman said, "You're fired," and they pulled back to the 38th parallel. Now, granted, I might not be here because my dad would have pushed through. Who knows? So, I mean, we give that up to God's perfect will. But at the same time, I mean, that's what we do. We take ground and then we give it back, and we lose a lot of men in the process.
well, the Chinese is what MacArthur started.
Yeah.
They had two. We still won. The Marines still whooped 2 battalions of Chinese, but they were harder to fight than the
Oh, sure.
Koreans. so-
My dad said, and I don't want this to sound really terrible or whatever, but this is just, and my dad didn't talk a lot, but he said one time, he said you would see hundreds, if not thousands of them coming over the hill, and he said you would take them out, and there would be another 100 or another 1,000 to take their place. It was just like,
Well, yeah, their captains in the Chinese, especially, there's no, you can't change your mind. You go. The order is said. There's you can't change the order.
right,
It's communism. You just keep going.
yeah, yeah.
So
But that'd be, yeah. So
Stick this leaf in your mouth and go.
yeah. So I mean, I know we haven't. We still got some time left tonight. So if you guys want to throw out some thoughts on some of the things that have happened in the last 3 days already, some of the things that's been going on that we're looking at seeing some change in the future. Maybe just throw that out here in the next few minutes. We talked about a few of them, but anything that's on your guys' mind that you want to throw out there?
Go ahead, Dan.
I mean, it's awesome what he's doing. Like I said, he's getting more done in 4 days than Biden did in 4 years. Should I say it? I don't know. But I have a problem with executive orders generally because they're unconstitutional.
Yeah, this is the problem. We're going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah.
Every 4 years, we're going to do this.
Right.
Exactly.
I mean, in
unless
theory,
we
we could.
unless we get a Congress.
I think we're going to get a Vance presidency out of this.
We will.
But still, when he's done, that guy's just, whoever goes in next is just going to pen in whatever's popular in another 8 years. So
So this is my hope, is that Trump breaks the pin. You know what I mean? He gets all these executive orders out, and then he breaks the pin.
What school did Vance go to?
Cardinal.
Harvard or Yale.
Yeah, Harvard. I was like, Cardinal. What are you talking about? Yeah,
Harvard.
yeah. He went to Harvard. He was a Marine.
Which scared me.
So he's probably Skull and Bones.
Skull.
No,
yeah.
that's Yale. Yale.
Oh yeah, that's Bush.
Yeah.
Bush. Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm
Harvard scares me. It's the same as who's the fella down there in Florida?
talking about.
DeSantis.
DeSantis. Yeah, I don't fully trust him either.
Yeah, he was a Navy SEAL. I think he was a Navy SEAL.
Yeah.
Special Forces. But
He's trained then.
yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, well, this whole thing could be an operation. Even Trump could be part of it. But I don't want to run down that road and say, you know what I mean? Because what I kept waiting for, I guess we could talk about this. We should have seen a lot
Here,
more
hold on a
pushback.
second. Hold on a second. This will be fun.
Like somewhere.
All right, we're back.
So, Trump, nobody ever pushed back. And I understand it was too big to rig, but
No pallets of bricks being delivered.
yeah. And I'm like, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the city to blow up. Were there that many white hats? Did we really beat them?
It was too cold outside.
Maybe.
That's true.
All hell froze over. But
Yeah.
maybe.
That's not
you know.
racist, is it?
What I just said?
No, what I just said.
No.
You can drive through
I
the
don't
projects right now
Yeah.
and be completely safe.
I know. I was just there today.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
yeah,
Justin says that DeSantis was a jag.
a jag.
Yeah.
Oh, he was a lawyer?
Yeah.
Okay. And what branch was he? Army?
That would be Air Force, wouldn't it?
No,
Yeah.
jag is
Oh.
in everyone. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah. But anyway,
I just
thought
remember
they
the
did
TV show Jag. That's all I remember.
something. Yeah, that was. I mean, they were. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just lawyers in the military.
Yeah,
military lawyer,
Okay.
Marines.
a Marine. Okay. Yeah. Still,
So he might have been trained.
Well, that just means he had a large head.
He could still
that
put
could
a knife.
fit in a jar.
He could fit in
Put
a
your
jar.
head in a jar. Anyway. But yeah, I mean,
So doesn't this still go back to what we talked about earlier, that the idea that so God raises people up, and within that nation, the idea is hopefully to create a more moral. Now, granted, you can't legislate morality, but there should, at least from the top down, they should be doing what is just and what is right.
maybe
from
you
the top
can.
down.
Maybe you can legislate morality. It doesn't have to be followed, but you can legislate it.
Yeah,
Term
right.
limits needs to happen right away.
I hate it.
Term limits needs to
I
happen.
hate it.
You hate what?
I hate it. because of John Quincy Adams. I hate term limits. I understand why you saying that, but it's unconstitutional. I understand it, but it's unconstitutional.
Why is it unconstitutional?
Because not even the president should be term limited. The president was the.
Are you kidding? After FDR?
Hold on. I'm saying constitutional. I'm just going back. I'm in the 1700s. So it's unconstitutional.
All right.
1700s.
Thomas Jefferson realized that they already failed. So,
Well, Thomas Jefferson is a radical. I understand, yeah, because he thinks every 20 years we should have a revolution.
Right.
And blood should be shed every 20 years. I disagree with that. And they did lose this. The state rights was a problem. But I guess, term limits make sense, but it doesn't constitutionally. You know what I mean? So you have John Quincy Adams dies in office.
executive orders don't make sense constitutionally.
I know, that's what we're talking about. So that's what I'm saying. Break the pen. Don't finish all your executive orders. Break it. It's done. It's gone. Revamp the government. Maybe term limits, but it's not. It would be moving away from the Constitution. I personally
If you
say
went to term limits, nobody would run. We wouldn't be able to find people to go to Congress
if you didn't have term limits.
if we did have term limits.
If we did.
say we limited Congress to 3 terms, that'd be 6 years.
You got to have 4, probably.
All right. 4.
Yeah, an 8-year. You got to have at least as much of a president.
Okay, and how long would
so-
you do senators? 2 6s?
Yeah, I would do 12.
All right.
If I
So we
did
got 8
term
and 12.
limits, yeah. Maybe I would do 12
you
for both.
could really start. You could start to get things in motion, though. I'm worried at 12 years.
The problem is lobbyists. Maybe you
Right.
just execute lobbyists.
Okay.
Egg them in D.C. I'm serious. I mean, like that's the main problem is the people don't get What happens is, and I've known some of these people. Unfortunately, right? They say these great things. Maybe they believe these great things, and when they go to Washington,
They're absorbed.
yeah, and they get sat down by the leader of their party and say, "This is how you will vote. This is what you will do."
Yeah.
And I think that there are either the best whiskey you've ever had, beautiful women, or stacks of cash waiting for you, or all of it.
And they may be
Whatever
holding
it
a
takes.
gun, and they may be holding a gun to you
I
and
don't
saying,
think they do the gun first.
I don't know. Well, I think they make the blackmail. I don't know. It could be. Listen, you're going to sleep with this
No, the
woman.
blackmail is the video of like, we know what
What you
where
did
were.
in the past. But, yeah, like that email you get from the guy that says pervert and
Right,
whatever.
yeah.
It's like, yeah.
We know
So-
you've been buying vitamin C on Amazon.
Yeah.
We've seen what goes on.
We know you don't eat enough protein.
Listen,
You've been planning on going. You've been planning on going to jail anyway. You've been eating a lot of tofu.
listen. Just because I was switched at birth doesn't mean anything. All right.
Listen, we'll shoot you up after this episode.
Justin says voting is kind of gay.
Voting. Yeah. Well, maybe he means like it's a happy time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Vote.
Gay old time was had by all.
Yeah. It's a happy
If
time
you're
to
just
vote.
trying to say astounding things, you win.
Yeah.
You win.
Okay. All right. Oh, wow. The time has slipped past us.
He needs to drill,
Baby.
close the border,
Yeah.
and let small business.
Do you think Trump's assassination attempt was fake or real?
No, I think it was real. I think the Democrats were trying to kill him. 100%.
So you think
And
when he
that kid-
turned to 1/8, he says 1/8.
I think God
And
turned
that-
his head.
And that kid was used.
Definitely. Yeah.
So that kid was
I mean,
being sent emails, and he somehow was being manipulated.
yeah, FBI probably, yeah. They have those think
What is that?
tanks where they train people.
What's that?
MK Ultra.
mindset? MK Ultra.
Yeah, the MK Ultra. Oh yeah, I think I actually think that soldier was MK Ultra. The 2 soldiers too. The one, the blow up of the Las Vegas building, and the one down
With the
in,
machine gun out the
Louisiana.
windows?
No. I'm talking the truck. The
Oh,
Just
yeah.
recent,
No,
The
that
Tesla
guy.
and the
That
Renault.
guy definitely something was weird going on there.
yeah, I have a connection to that guy. I'll tell you about it after.
All right.
Off fair.
So you're not you're not at all into the prophecies that was a wound to Trump's head, and he somehow came back to life, meaning
Revelation.
meaning his party won and came back to life, and
No.
And
No,
we
no,
know
no,
nothing about that kid on the rooftop.
Oh, no,
That-
he's just
no.
swept under the rug now. He's gone.
Well, what's funny is so if you look at that, they say that roof was slanted. Well, that was actually the flatter roof where the snipers actually were.
I went there.
Yeah, did you see it?
I saw it on the second rally.
150
It had 30
feet.
guys on top of it the next time we went.
Well,
I was
yeah.
like, oh, they must have their gravity boots this time.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy.
And still, nobody on the water tower. Nobody on the water
You
tower.
want to know what else is interesting too about all these school shootings, that stuff?
Oh, don't.
No, all these kids are getting sweet rifles somehow, and they don't have a pot to piss in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like Daniel defenses and this and that, and
Oh,
laid
yeah.
out stuff. Like, we're not talking a $500 rifle.
We're about $4,000.
Oh, I think we know where they're coming from. So you know that we're gonna get to know who killed John F. Kennedy.
Yeah, I hope that.
We were
just
supposed
got
to hear
released
about
today.
we were supposed to hear about the drones on Tuesday.
Yeah.
We didn't.
We didn't.
Yeah.
He failed
He
us.
failed us.
Oh, Trump. Yeah, but Dan and I were talking earlier, and Dan said it just came out that he did sign the papers to release
Yeah.
the
He just signed it right before
To
probably
release
4
what?
o'clock, 5 o'clock.
Kennedy?
Kennedy and
Kennedy.
Martin Luther King.
Both
about-
Kennedy brothers.
What about
Martin Luther
Epstein's
King.
list?
No,
No, I
not
don't think he
yet.
did that because he might. Well, never mind.
No.
He was. I don't think he was. On.
Well, he's been on the plane.
The guy who swore him
He just
in
had to
was
wait. Yeah,
Roberts.
really.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They got pictures of him in the water.
Wow.
Dean King.
floating
isn't it?
around.
So
on
this
the-
is what I'm getting at. Okay, from the standpoint of I understand God is in control. He's sovereign over this. I just think as we're looking at this, Dan, you and I talked about this earlier. Ultimately, Trump is president. God has put him in place. We're hoping and longing that he does some good, just things, and he's already beginning to do some of those things. But ultimately, we serve the King of heaven, the King of the kingdom of heaven, and that's Christ himself. So we need to make sure our eyes stay there and not go to this, because there are people that are crazy about this whole situation, and we need to, as Christians, we need to keep our head on straight about this stuff.
Yeah, I would say that, there's some hyper. It seems like, especially in the Pentecostal realms, there's some Christians that are big time Trump followers that are almost making him Christ-like, and that's like, no, we're not even sure he's a Christian, which we already talked about. It's like, we're not even sure he's a Christian. Now, I think he's
doing some sweet stuff.
Oh,
but
he is. I think he's a political messiah,
Yeah.
in sorts, and I mean that in a positive way. Like, he's going to bring economic great things for America as long as he keeps on this path. But he's not the Messiah. He's not for salvation of our souls.
Yeah. Right.
I think he's a Christian.
You do? Yeah. Well, you say he's as good as a Christian as all the other Christians in America.
Yeah, so that makes him.
Well, the fact
that
that he
makes-
had Franklin Graham, that's what makes me hopeful that he is.
Is Franklin Graham a Christian?
I think so. Yeah.
Wait
He
a
actually
minute.
came-
Wait a
He
minute.
was
You're
the first
question-
punch.
You're questioning Franklin Graham as a Christian, but yet
I think that Donald Trump could be a good witness to Franklin Graham.
This is great. All right. Yeah. Okay. I'm following that.
Yeah.
All right. It's possible.
I mean, his dad was obviously had problems.
You mean Billy?
Yeah, good old Billy. There.
Will? Yeah.
Good old Billy Graham.
Yeah. When you say he had problems, just that.
We're gonna fill up stadiums. And we're gonna get people to think they're saved, and then we're gonna release them. Yeah. I'm gonna call it
Yeah.
I'm gonna call it the camp meeting.
Well, what was that? We don't need to go there. I guess we could talk about it next time. But when he was with Nixon and they had that recording, didn't you
Yeah, they're
play
talking
that?
about the Jews.
Yeah.
The Jews.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Billy was kind of like,
They both were. I
Kinda
mean,
like-
he's like he said. You want to look it up again? You want to roll that again? Have you seen that?
My sons were talking about. Sure, let's see it.
It's like a two.
well, it's kind of like that whole like hype, like that crazy Zionist thing. You know, it was. I think he was kind of speaking against that.
Yeah, that's what I know. Billy Graham would have been against the Zionism.
Yeah.
Hey, there's a president.
That's why he's dead.
Yeah, wait, I know.
So this is what's alarming to me too. Is Trump poking the bear because he's already been exposed once. There was an assassination attempt. Well, twice, right, in the golf course. And so now he's poking the bear, and you're talking he's going after some big-time things. And there's deep, we talk about the deep state, and some people don't want to think about that. But so, I mean, he could be asking for.
Yeah. Those have all been pardoned, though.
But he knows
Depends
a lot
on-
now.
Well, that's true. What's that?
Like he said, he knows a lot now.
He does. He does know a lot, so that might keep him alive a little longer. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he has he can hand select the best of the best of the best.
Yeah. And I'm thinking that's what he did this round, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
I mean, people to protect him, you know
Right,
what I mean?
right.
Pete Higseth. So,
Yeah, right.
yeah. So this guy's great.
And then who's the guy, is it Bongino? Did he
Dan Bongino.
pick him to be a part of his Secret Service or the head of his Secret Service?
Yeah,
or
he
no?
was in Trump's. He was in Obama's Secret Service. Yeah, he's
Okay.
doing something with that. Yeah.
Did he pick him to be a part of his Secret Service or the head of his Secret Service?
Yeah,
or no?
he.
Where's that coming from?
I don't know. We're hearing it though.
Yeah.
I'm not a crook. Come on, Matt. We're 6 minutes over.
We're gonna be fine.
All right. As long as you say so.
No one's gonna die.
10:30.
Hmm?
We're going till 10:30.
No way.
It's going to be a Joe Rogan.
I've had too much.
Experience.
I've had too much coffee. Actually, do you have a? You're not on me, are you?
I'm on all of us.
You watched the Joe Rogan?
Take it off.
Yeah, I don't watch everything, but
Did you watch the recent one with John McAfee?
I didn't see it.
He's I think he's an SF guy or was. You have to watch that. That dude's intense.
Have you ever seen Sean Ryan's podcast?
With John McAfee?
I don't know, just Sean Ryan.
Yeah,
of
I've been
course,
watching him since he was
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah, he's great. He had Pete Hegseth on.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sean Ryan's got a lot of.
Yeah, I've been watching him, no jokes, since the beginning, like since he started.
Yeah, well, I mean, I like that Rogan had Trump. First he had Vance on, then he had Trump on. I don't remember who else he had on, but yeah, it's good.
I'm not a that guy fan.
That
Joe Rogan.
No, I love Joe Rogan.
Oh,
that John McAfee was saying, because he was out in Iraq doing all that stuff. He said like them princes would have them lions and stuff there, and the lions would be cool with all the males, but soon as like little kids and females walk by, they go crazy because the princes were feeding them.
yeah.
That's crazy. You know what I mean? Feeding the kids
Yeah.
and the women to the lions.
That's well. I mean, they've accused the kings and queens of England of doing that kind of stuff.
Oh my gosh,
Ah,
dude.
here it is.
That's wild.
Yeah, yeah. It's
No.
And it has nothing to do with anti-Semitism. It happens, though, that insofar as the media is concerned, the powerful media,
They've got it.
they've got it right by...
And they're the
right.
ones putting out the pornographic stuff and putting out everything.
I don't know why they do.
You see, the Bible makes a distinction, Mr. President, between two groups of Jews. One is called the synagogue of Satan.
The Bible says there are two different kinds.
There are two different kinds. There are those people, in the latter days, it's called the remnant of God's people, which will be Jewish people. And then there's the synagogue of Satan. And nearly all of your religious deceptions in the latter days, what the Bible speaks, latter days will be 1,000 years, what they call the synagogue of Satan. In other words, they are energized by a supernatural power called the devil. This is what the Bible teaches. Whether you believe it or don't believe it, this is the biblical teaching, and this is what I believe. And I believe that they have a strange brilliance about them.
Oh,
They're smart,
Oh.
and they are energized, in my judgment, by a supernatural power.
well, also they do something else. They're not as smart as together.
And you see, of course, Hitler didn't. They had a stranglehold on Germany, on the banking of Germany, on everything in Germany, and the media. They had the whole thing, you see. But he went about it wrong. But this stranglehold has got to be broken, or this country is going to go down the drain.
You believe that?
Yes, sir.
I can't ever say it, but I believe it.
Wow. Nixon, I can't ever say it, but I believe it.
That's really great. And I love that it sounds like one of them is using the restroom.
Technically, anybody that isn't for Christ is the synagogue of Satan, right?
Well, they're at least antichrist, right?
So you have Rothschilds and Rockefellers. Those are both Jewish families.
And Rockchilds.
Yeah.
And,
Synagogues of Satan.
yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
That's
know
what
how
you
much I
really
want to.
feel.
Yeah, I like Billy Graham and Nixon still. About that, and I think they're hitting on Martin Luther's
The Jews and
their
their
lies. Yeah, I think they're hitting on that.
That's one of my favorite books, by the way.
Well, and
I printed you out one.
You did.
I think and I think that kind of the Zionism, they may have been the founders of Zionism. In fact, I remember meeting a Jewish. He was from Israel, and he was over at a pastor's conference, and he was. I was talking. He was trying to get people to come over there and spend money, and he was an ambassador. And I said, "Oh, you must be a Messianic Jew." Of course, I was very young as a pastor, and he's like, and he gave me the dirtiest look. He's like, "I am a real Jew," and I'm like, "Oh, so you're not even a Christian?" That's what I'm like. But of course, I mean, really, in the Bible, Christianity is the fulfillment of Judaism,
Yeah.
and so we're part of that remnant.
Yeah.
So if we see God's plan as one plan, one people, not so
Yeah.
depends on if you're a dispensationalist or not, really.
So in Romans, when Paul says all of Israel will be saved, how? Because I know some
Through
people.
Christ, he says it through Christ. There will be
Right,
saved 9,
right.
10, and 11.
Right.
So that's the only way they can come.
Yeah.
It's through Christ.
Yeah.
And that's what that's what the Gentile Christians are to be, to make Israel jealous, but they have to
Right.
come through Christ.
Right.
There's not going to be a special sacrifice. It's not left behind. It's not going to be
Right.
some special sacrificial system that they come up
Right.
with. And no, that was all done away with.
Right.
Jesus is the last sacrifice.
Right.
And I believe by and large Jesus rejected the Jews.
Yeah.
Like we talked about in 70 AD.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it. I'm like, and the Christians, which was always part of God's plan, or the Gentiles, which was always part of God's plan, they just,
Yeah.
So,
Well, yeah. Until right.
I feel that's what Billy Graham was saying.
Yeah.
I feel like that's where he was going. So I'm still good with Billy.
And Jesus said, until the Jerusalem will be trampled down, until the time of the Gentiles has been completed. Right. So
Which could be, if you look at a post-millennial, that could be the kingdom.
it could be.
Yeah.
It could be. And ultimately, like, my thought is this, because I've got a nephew-in-law, and he's very anti-Jewish, and I get it. And he likes to throw around this idea of the synagogue of Satan too, and he quotes those scripture texts,
Yeah.
and I get that. However, part of the goal of the Gentile as well is, like you said, it's to make them jealous,
Yeah.
but it's also to evangelize, because again, from Genesis chapter 12 and on, they were the people that were supposed to be blessing all the families of the earth. But again, it wasn't ethnicity, it was Messiah.
Well, yeah, they already blessed. So
Yeah.
they fulfilled everything, basically, in my opinion, they fulfilled everything that God had them to do. They fulfilled it all.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean, then that's the problem, I think, is you don't start hating the Jews and you don't refuse to share the gospel with them.
Right.
Whether they accept it or not or reject it, that's fine.
Yeah.
But as an American country, we don't need to bow the knee
No.
to Israel
No.
or the Jews.
No. I would
Yeah.
agree with that, yeah.
So
Yeah, and I think ultimately that was fulfilled in Christ, the Messiah. That's the blessing.
That's what he says, Abraham. Yeah, it's Abraham in Galatians. We were in Galatians. That's the seed. That's it.
Yep.
Boom.
Genesis 3:15. I will put hostility between your
Yep.
seed and her seed.
Yeah.
He will bruise your head and you will bruise his heel. Yep. So, well, Matt, any other comments here that we got to address?
Justin did not like my take on Billy the Graham. And he said, I let a lot of people who were Christians who said they got saved in the 70s and the 80s by the Billy Graham events. And I told them to settle down. I said, I'm sure the Message Bible has saved one or two lives.
Oh, my goodness. That's
Well,
good.
I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I wouldn't agree. I don't like the all heads bowed, all eyes closed kind of thing. But, you know, I mean, I know some people that were really saved in Billy Graham's day. But, yeah, I mean.
Okay, check this out. Now, hopefully,
He said, I need to settle.
you need to settle?
Yeah, he said, I need to settle.
Good. You two quit fighting, both of you. All right, I got a grandma. Well, it's my grandma. I'll call her my grandma. It's my my wife's grandma technically, but love her to death. But she will tell you, if she was here, she would attest to this. She was at a Benny Hinn, whatever service, and she believes that in that service he prayed or something for healing for people, and she literally. She says the Spirit of God hit her. She fell down. Her husband used to tell April's grandpa, told the story. He's like, she was there 1 minute, and he goes, next minute, I couldn't find her. And he goes, I'm looking around, and he goes, there she is on the ground. And she fell down and received.
What?
She received some kind of.
No, how do you?
I don't know. Benny Hinn must have said something or did something, or maybe he waved his.
It
I
was
don't
part
know.
of his shtick.
Yeah, but
It's
how did?
called Slain in the Spirit.
Okay, but like she, like from a
Listen,
non-Pentecostal.
I went to Assemblies of God.
I know.
What do you want to know?
I know.
Ether
But
does some crazy things.
I get you, but if you know a person like I know Grandma,
I think,
and
but
she says
Brian,
something
Brian,
happened,
I
I'm
think-
just wondering,
I
like,
think some people want to believe so badly.
okay, but I guess what I'm saying is, like, if somebody's at a Billy Graham conference or a Billy Graham thing, and the Spirit of God comes upon them, hold on. And the Spirit of God saves them, then they can be saved at that. I don't know.
Well, yeah, God can use anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
He says Benny Hinn is too legit.
yeah.
Too legit to quit. Yeah, definitely.
In the Bible, from a Bible standpoint, though, being slain in the Spirit, the only time you ever see it is when the people come to take Jesus away and they're bad, and they says, "We're looking for Jesus," and he's like, "I'm him," and they all fall over, and then they get back on, all
Now
six
see
and
that?
over them.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah.
But when I was standing
Yeah.
in Burton Assembly, when I was 12 to 14, 15, 16 years old, and they would go,
Or they'd be blowing on you or pushing on you or any of that.
when I'm like, nope, still nothing.
Fire,
I got
fire,
nothing.
fire,
Fire,
fire.
fire, yeah. Or
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
or you would sit there, like, I wanted to speak tongues so badly.
You
Never
did.
came.
You did.
Never came.
Yeah.
And I would like nothing. And I felt like a loser.
You really wanted it, and then you felt like
Yeah.
a loser because it didn't happen
It
to you.
didn't happen, yeah. And I'm watching a lot of grandmas making it happen. And I just think that at some point in time, you want something to happen so bad
I mean, it's possible.
that it happens.
It's possible Grandma could have had a false understanding of what happened to her,
Maybe. Or maybe God used it.
and maybe God did.
No, I'm
something.
not. Listen, I ain't gonna whatever. Like I said, I believe a couple people have been saved by the Message Bible. It happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Billy Graham crusades.
And Billy Graham Crusades.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm
all
sure
right.
there's been a couple, like The Rock or
And God
Hulk
spoke through a
Hogan.
donkey.
Hulk Hogan. Yeah.
Yeah, he did. All right.
I have a less hard of a time believing that than Billy Graham saved hundreds of thousands. Yeah.
I believe it.
All right.
So I know when I got saved, like, stuff left me instantly.
Yeah.
And that is just as powerful as someone falling on the floor.
I agree.
It's probably more powerful than someone falling on the floor. But someone being healed that fell on the floor, that's pretty powerful. But, yeah.
I'm just skeptical. That's all.
I mean, ultimately, if you go back to even the Old Testament, he said, "I don't want your sacrifices. I want your obedience." At the end of the day, start living right. go after God.
Jesus saved
suck
them,
at
not
that.
Jesus saved them, not Billy. He was the sower. Okay, maybe, but there was like I never heard Billy be like, "Listen, from this day forward, you will need to repent. That means you will turn your life and go the other way."
No,
So Billy
think-
Graham, he did
I think he
eventually.
did.
He actually
did
started.
eventually.
Yeah, because he's like, man, we can't account for these people. They're not in
Thank
churches.
you.
They're
Okay,
not.
all
Yeah,
right. America should be saved by now. Between him and that other guy out there in California who
Greg Laurie?
made friends with the gay guy, yeah, they should be able to have saved America by now.
Okay.
And it hasn't happened. I mean, you fill stadiums so many times. Do some math. We're there.
Okay, so not to defend Billy Graham and not to take sides with Justin or Matt, right? Because you guys need to calm
You
down.
guys been hanging on way too much.
I know. But think about this. Jesus drew some pretty serious crowds, and he preached some heavy truth, and the world wasn't saved. I mean, we still a lot of people. They crucified him. So I know Billy didn't get crucified, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, Billy didn't get crucified because his message was false, so it wasn't scary. Jesus' message was true and scary.
All right.
He had to die.
All right. Well, I'm not gonna. I don't want you to plan the next 4 years of our ministry here because I'm not getting crucified if I can help it.
That's
right.
fine.
All right. All right.
Listen,
but no, I
I'm
wanna preach
allowed.
God.
I'm allowed to be the one doubting guy. Okay.
Hey, I'm for it. I'm
Thomas
gotcha.
was allowed in the room.
I
Yeah,
agree.
he was.
I agree. That's part of this new free brave world. You can express that, Matt. You surely can express that. That's true.
in one of two genders.
Yeah,
Yes.
which is fine.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Right.
No more cat
I was
boxes and-
skeptical. I was
Burden.
skeptical.
What are they going to do?
Yeah.
they can't. They got to get all the litter boxes out of the school, and
I hope so.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I hope so.
Yeah.
well, yeah. I mean, I think that's.
I don't know what
gonna
I'm
be
going to do though,
in
because when
order.
I go in there, that's what I use.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a
smells
problem.
good. Rosy fresh.
Tidy cat. I love that smell.
I am not jaded. I'm not jaded.
Oh,
I just know reality.
there's a response that says you're
He
jaded.
says I'm jaded.
Oh. I can feel Justin's pain over there, feeling like you're jaded.
But that's fine. You may. I think I have math on my side.
You do actually. Yeah.
But I guess if you go back to Jesus, called big crowds, and they weren't changed. So
Yeah. Yeah.
which is interesting and scary
Yeah.
because so many people weren't changed by Jesus.
He actually had a guy come up to him and go, I want this. And he said, you just have to give me everything. And then he turned around, cried, ran away.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's open denial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. Yep.
So yeah, I think it's easy. I don't know. This could be a topic for another day, but maybe we should talk about that whole thing because it's easy to criticize these guys, but if you're preaching the gospel, you're getting it out there.
I think April typed Brian ! But it's both coming through as Northeast Naz.
Oh yeah, that's April. What she?
She gave you a chide.
Oh, what did I say?
Obviously, you've been chided.
She said, "Good job."
Oh, good job.
No, she did not.
Huh?
She did not say good job.
No?
She just says Brian !
I got to call my wife.
Maybe that means come
She's like,
home. Oh,
yeah.
your wife is after
Yeah.
you now?
I don't know.
Oh, so we're in trouble.
Justin says, who is the Jesus person? Who is this Jesus person? Matt, probably. What does that mean? What does that even mean?
Is that from April?
No, that's from Justin.
Who is this Jesus person, Matt?
Probably.
Probably.
No, I'm not claiming to be Jesus.
Oh, I see. Yeah. You're the Holy Spirit.
No.
Oh.
I'm just a guy who's like, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah. All right. Well,
We're
before
gonna box this up?
I was going to say, before we get too many people commenting and getting us in trouble.
Yeah, before this show gets started, let's shut it down.
Yeah, I'd like to know what I said at least, but that's okay. I'll find out.
Does that mean I can give my dad a hug now?
No.
Yeah, in just a minute.
Still no hugs.
Can we sit? Can you come here and say that? Hold on. No, right here. Over here. Come over here. Say this into the microphone as we close out. Can you just tell what you just said?
Can I give my dad a hug?
And I said, no, not now. I'm on the air.
No, I don't care.
Daddy's working. Stay
No,
clear.
I don't care.
Aw, that's nice.
Beat it.
All right.
Be quiet out there.
This is why we do what we do, to train these little ones up so they don't become Billy Graham haters. All right.
Well, I don't want him to be a Billy Graham lover either.
Well, no, you want him lover of Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right.
Follow Jesus.
Okay.
That'll cut all the questions.
When you said I'm not a crook, the only thing I can picture is, you ever see Point Break?
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
The 4 dead presidents. They're robbing the bank.
Yeah.
He has.
Oh, yeah.
Nixon mask?
Yeah. He goes, I'm not a
I
crook.
am not a
Yeah. Yeah. That was a good movie.
That is a really good movie.
Yeah. I don't know if I could watch it now.
Why?
I can't remember if there's bad scenes in it.
Oh my goodness.
There's some shoot 'em up in there.
Oh,
That's
I
about
don't
it.
mind people getting shot. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, murder's
And I
fine.
will say, who's the other guy that died?
Such a hypocrite.
Who's that actor that died
Oh, there's a lot of them, Brandon,
in there?
who died.
He was the main guy.
Yeah, I just had it. He was
Roadhouse.
Roadhouse. Dances with
Patrick
Denzel-
Swayze.
Ghost. Patrick Swayze. Yeah.
Dude, he was a good actor.
Oh, he was.
He was a great actor.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he could dance really good. Too.
He was a good actor.
All right, we need to cut loose, man.
All
Or else
right.
we're gonna get in trouble. We're probably already in trouble.
Yeah, you're in trouble.
We got the government after us. Our wives are
You're
after
sleeping on the couch.
Hey,
us. I didn't even think I said anything. Oh well.
I don't think my wife's after me. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're right. Let's just put it this way: our special guest had to leave to take a call from his wife.
No, we're still recording. You're not gonna come back. I'm
right.
not gonna invite you back.
Dad,
What? Small human being.
Zeke said to his song, do you think the ladies will like it?
What?
His song.
He said, do you think the ladies will like it?
His song.
Oh, can we
Sunday?
talk about this later?
Yeah.
Let's talk about.
We'll
this
get you later.
All right.
All right. So next Thursday night, you'll be getting an advertisement sometime next week, right, Matt?
Yeah, I wanted to see if that would get anybody, like more people on if I
Yeah.
went closer.
Yeah.
It didn't seem to do anything.
Okay.
So I'll pick a different day. Different
Okay.
time.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Dan, thanks for being here.
Thank you for being here.
Yep. And
Please come back. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Come back if you have me back.
Yeah,
So-
we'll get more discussion about these things. We'll start pulling it in. So everybody out there, have a good evening. Again, if if you don't have any other thing to do on Sundays and you can't find or if you're looking for a good church,
You should find one.
You should find one.
You should get off good church.
There's a big church in Canton, Faith Family.
Brandon, we're not
No,
promoting.
that is huge.
Stop.
Shameless
promoting.
That's
plug.
in the old. Listen, that's in the old Hoover building.
Yeah, we drove past that
Yeah,
last Saturday.
it's impressive.
It's impressive, and I felt like it was demonic.
I know. That's why you should go there.
I'm not kidding you.
That's why you should go there.
So did Sarah.
What?
It just feels like eerie. You know what I mean?
Really?
The way it look, oh my god.
There's another church. If you keep going down that road on the other side, it's got like football and another thing to be worshipped.
Now that
Hall of
church
Fame.
is not so scary.
It's not.
It's still a church, definitely.
Yeah.
It's a religion.
Really
That's
cool
not a
stuff.
church. It's a mausoleum.
Yeah,
Yeah, a mausoleum.
yeah, it's a religion.
Some people like that. All right.
Okay,
This has been Uneducated.
and we'll do it again next week.
We're out.
Theoretically. Go ahead. You finish out your thought.
Well, we got an error report.